On today's video, I talk about 5 simple steps that you can take to save money fast. And the best part about it is nearly anyone can implement these. Hello everyone, I am Ethan Rushock, and on today's video I'll be going through 5 simple methods that you can use to save money fast. There's a lot of videos out there like this, but a lot of them I find are cut this expense out or cut this expense out, that not everyone's actually expending money on these. So these are 5 tips that I feel like anyone can implement all of these, and I think they're really practical if you want to save lots of money in a short period of time, or even just slowly save money over a long period of time. And like I said, I don't want this to be cut coffee out. For instance, I don't drink coffee. I've actually never drank coffee in my life, if you can actually believe that. But I don't want this to be cut that out, because if you're not spending on that, you can't implement that. So these will be 5 practical tips, and I really think they'll help everyone. So tip number 1 is allocating a reasonable amount of spending money to yourself. So when you're doing your budget, allocate an amount that is actually practical. So what happens quite often is when people are doing up a budget, they try and cut their spending money down as small as possible, which logically makes sense because you're trying to save lots of money. But when you cut it too small and say you allocate yourself $50 a week, if this doesn't really fit into your current lifestyle, you either have to make dramatic changes to your lifestyle or you go over budget. So if you make dramatic changes to your lifestyle, you have to be careful doing this too quick. This may reduce your happiness or reduce what you can do with friends and family, and that may not be practical. And the other issue is if you allocate a certain amount of spending money, but you start going over that every week, and then you're starting to draw into other areas of your budget. So for instance, if you've got $50 a week allocated and you've got 2 birthday dinners that week that you've got to go out for food, and you know you're going to go over that, suddenly you're going, oh, where can I get that money from? And once you start dipping into other areas of your budget, it makes it a really easy habit to get into. So what you're trying to achieve is have a spending budget that is practical. Something that you know you're going to still be able to maintain a lifestyle that keeps you happy while not going over the top and just spending unlimited. And the good thing about having a spending budget and allocating it to a separate account, it's guilt-free spending. You know this amount is budgeted for and you can spend it on whatever you want. So number 2 is negotiating your insurances, your utilities, your phone bills, etc. Make sure you're always trying to get the best deal on these. So quite often, people don't even realize that their insurance price has gone up. The premium might go up each year, and sometimes that may be unavoidable, but maybe that's a good sign for you to just shop around, see what other prices are out there. Have a look online with a lot of your utility companies. Quite often, a lot of them now have online-only plans where if you agree to a direct debit, no paper bills, they're all emailed, etc., you can quite often get a better rate or a better pay-on-time discount, etc. The great thing about shopping around for your better deals is that you might even discover other options that are out there, other companies, or you might even just realize that the company you're currently with is now offering a better deal to, say, new customers. And you may be able to get on the phone and say, look, I'm an existing customer, I've been loyal, you're offering this to get new customers, why can't you offer it to me? Now they might not always match it exactly, but even if you can save 5-10% on individual bills, that's going to put you in a much better position to be able to save or to invest more money. Alright, number 3 is bulk cooking lunches. Now the reason why I like to do lunches rather than dinners is that I feel like lunch is something that you do normally eat smaller portion size, and it's also something you have on the go. So by bulk cooking, it allows you 1 to plan out your meals for each day. So you're already set, you've got something planned. And 2, it allows you to cook in a large batch that can be split up into smaller meals, which normally saves money because you're buying everything in bulk. So it can be a great way to save money because you've planned this out and you're not spending that on takeaway food. The thing I find with lunches is quite often you've only got a limited lunch break, whether it's half an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. And if you're in an office, you might go, oh, I can't afford to go home in that time. So you just duck out and you go buy food. And you do that each day, 5 days a week. And suddenly that adds up. It's normally going to be $10 or $15 a day. So you could be spending $50, $60, $70 a week on lunch. Whereas if you were to bulk cook that from home, you may be able to get away with it for $10 to $20 if you're really efficient with what you're using. That's a huge saving each week of, could be $50 a week that you're saving just by being prepared, cooking your lunches on the weekend, cook it on a Wednesday night or something, freeze them, do it whenever you've got the time, and then you're set. 1, it takes away the stress of having to decide what to have for lunch for each day. You can normally go for a healthier option, and you're also going to be saving yourself some money. Number 4 is something I've only started doing this year, but I've already realized that it's going to have a great ability to increase what I save as well as just reducing stress from me. So it's putting away money each week for gifts. So what I've actually done is I've gone through everyone that I would buy gifts for, whether that's birthdays or Christmas, and I've gone through and gone, how much would I like to spend on each person, and just started putting that amount away each week. So what that's allowed me to do is, as birthdays come along through the year, instead of dipping into my own spending or savings money, I'm able to just go into my gifts column on my spreadsheet and go, sweet, I've already got the money for that, and go buy the gift. I think this is great because one, it gets you in that mindset, like I spoke about spending money before, is you don't want to start dipping into other areas of your budget. So you know what you've got in your gifts budget, and then you'll spend that accordingly, rather than going over the top and just spending, oh, I'll just spend $100 here and $100 there, and then it all adds up and you don't even realize how much you've spent on someone. And I feel like this is really practical, especially as we come closer to Christmas time, is that people put such a strain on their budget on Christmas time. You've normally got a lot of events coming up. You've got presents you're trying to buy for people. You might be cooking a meal on Christmas Day and getting the ingredients for that. So there's a lot of other things that are going on. So if you know you've already budgeted for the gift side of things, that just takes one less hassle out of your busy Christmas period. And number 5 is not buying brand name clothes, or not being reliant on having to have all your clothing to be brand names. Now this is something I got into a bad habit a few years ago, where I would only buy the expensive brand name clothes. I wouldn't spend less than $60 or $70 on a shirt. A pair of shorts would always cost me over $100, and that's all I would wear. If I went into a store that wasn't selling the big brands, I wouldn't even look at things at times. And I just realized that was such a poor mindset to have. While I still like to have some of those clothes because I like the look of them or like the quality of them, etc., I've now learnt maybe I should have a look around and give other clothes shops a try. And what I've found is quite often the quality on some of these cheaper brand stuff is really good. So I still think quality is important when you buy anything, but don't be scared to try different brands and see whether a cheaper price might not necessarily mean cheaper quality. And I think this extends beyond just clothing. Have a look around what other brands there. Some cases it might be better to go for the more expensive brand, but if you do that bit of research and see what others, have a look at reviews online, have a look at reviews on social media, etc., and see what brands that might be at a cheaper price point might be more suitable and will save you money. Alright, so there are 5 simple tips that I think anyone can implement to help save them money. And the advantage to all of these is I think anyone will be able to implement them. And they're not cut out this particular expense. They're just more general tips in categories that nearly everyone spends money on. And as you can see, a lot of it comes down to not budgeting or laziness. So we'll buy lunch because we can't be bothered cooking, or we'll stick to the same known brands we got because we're trying to impress people. If you can get out of those mindsets, it's really easy to save those extra few dollars, and they quickly add up. An extra $50 a week or an extra $100 a week can be thousands of dollars over a year, and that can get you much closer to the financial goals you're aiming for. Okay, thanks for sticking through that. What I want you to do is leave a comment down below on what's the biggest money saving tip that you've found, or what's the area that you feel like you overspend in the most. As always, thank you for watching. If the video has been valuable to you, I'd love for you to leave a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.